Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cow's Opinion, the show where we take a look at some game news over the course of the week, and I tell you what I think, what I'm excited about, what I like, what I don't like, and just let you know my opinion. But don't take the opinion seriously because it is a cow's opinion, and it is a moo point. Doesn't matter. So, you guys, I am in a very good mood right now. It is, as you know, I have filmed the opinion articles and spliced them together throughout the week. I am so much happier than a few weeks ago when I let you guys know that I was stressed. My dad had a good visit at the hospital he had to go to, and he's got to do some tests, but they're not. Hopefully, there's nothing really to be concerned about. Work just filled all 3 open slots in the past 2 or 3 weeks after sitting on them for half a year. Things are starting to look up. I'm getting oddly optimistic. Hopefully the winning lotto numbers and 4-time YouTube are not too far behind. But I want to talk about some stuff that's actually got a much better chance of happening, like Tactics Ogre Reborn being on the Cow's channel, because this game looks amazing. As I've said in previous videos, Ogre Battle, the series, is just chef smooch. I really want to see it. I've played the old school very first one, and then this game and several other games come out, but I never got any of them. But the story, the classes, the darker storylines, the battle between humans and ogres and devils and demons and gods and all kinds of, it's just really cool. So when today they published, Mr. Duncan Heaney, thank you so much, on the official Square Enix game site, another look at Tactics Ogre Reborn, I said, oh, we doing this. I don't care how long this is going to be. This is going to be part of your news, and it's going to be really cool. So, Tactics Ogre, look at that, man. Like freaking, kind of Greek. I'm not really sure what the style, it's just, ancient style of like demons and monsters and ogres. And the reason why it's called Ogre Battle, by the way, is because both it and the title of the first game, March of the Black Queen, were taken from the developers were fans of the band Queen, and so they took those, and that's pretty cool. So we've already looked at that one, but ready for a little update? Last time we gave you a general overview, revealing story, characters, and new enhancements, but today, it's the nitty-gritty. I love the nitty-gritty. Now, Tactics Ogre was the trendsetter for tactical RPGs, with many subsequent games, both from Square Enix and other companies, taking inspiration from its systems. It's a testament to the depth of the systems, and the quality of the execution that many consider the game to be one of the crown jewels of the genre. If you've loved Final Fantasy Tactics, the series, you have to thank this game. This game came, I understand that we know, in the West, we know Final Fantasy more than any other RPG. In Japan, Dragon Warrior, which is also now owned by Square Enix, is a bigger game. And Enix made Ogre Battle first, and then Tactics Ogre before Final Fantasy Tactics, because the guy behind those games was recruited by Squaresoft, at the time Squaresoft, now Square Enix, to make their Final Fantasy Tactics games. And I can understand why he said yes. It's like amazing to get to play in that universe, and it became the setting for Ivalice, which is a huge part and one of arguably the most favorite of all Final Fantasy settings now. So that's fantastic. So some elements remain the same, others have been refined even further. We're going to enhancements at a later date. Yes, more news and more content. Subscribe. Hey, hit that button down below. If it's red, I'm bleeding out and I could be dead. But if it's gray, I'm okay. Yes, nailed it, Cal. They're totally going to buy this. But let's look at some stuff. So, tarot cards and character creation. Tarot cards are associated with fortune telling, but they're also deeply connected to Ogre Battle, and they play an important role. So, obviously, you'll be asked to choose a date of birth for Denim. You can also rename him. I'm totally renaming him Cal. So, January 1st is day 1 of Godskill. And then 22 of the tarot cards will appear and pose questions. This is kind of a progressive thing in Ogre Battle. When you make character creation, usually through the tarot, they will ask you questions about, how religious it gets into genres. How evil are you? How truthful are you? How money focused are you? Fame are you? Religious are you? There are no right or wrong answers. But your initial stats and other stuff at the beginning of the game is determined by your answers. Like, if I answer... You know what? Honestly, it's hard to tell. Sometimes if you answer a certain way, you might be more inclined to the magical arts. If you answer questions another way, it's going to give you physical points. If you answer a third way, maybe you're proficient with axes instead of swords. It's just really to help you have... And there's more cards than there are per the number that you'll get when you start the game. So that helps replayability. Because you can just say, well, I'll answer the questions differently. And maybe I'll focus more on being faithful to the gods than upholding justice. Or maybe I feel a bit evil and I want to talk about, conquest and fame are my goals. Again, no right or wrong answers. Just a little bit of replayability. And it really helps sell the game. The elements explained. Ooh, what is this? There are 8 elements in Tactics Ogre. Fire, water, wind, earth, darkness, light, lightning, and ice. That's more than I thought. The final step in character creation is selecting which associated god in the myth of Zytingia. Zytinia? Zytingia. I think the G is silent. Someone can correct me. Denim should seek protection from. More on that in a bit. Units other than Denim also have a set element. Matching it with the element of the magical weapon they use lets them unleash even greater power. For example, if a fire element wizard uses fire magic, they will inflict greater... So this was not something in Ogre Battle, but that is kind of cool. So like I said earlier, I thought like, that looks like water, that looks like fire. So your character, you want to give him fire-based stuff because he's going to get a bonus when he uses that. Elements also have respective elements that are strong or weak. Example, Earth is weak to wind, which means it does better, but strong against lightning. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm stupid. Wind does better than Earth, but Earth does better than lightning. I don't know if lightning does better than wind. It's not explained yet if it's like a rock, paper, scissors, or a big circle, or what. The gods who govern the elements. 8 gods govern the elements. The illustrations were created by Masoel, who is in charge of the character design. We have Josnail, goddess of fire. Ooh, the firstborn child of Bor the Celestial and Enim the Terrestrial. Though this makes her the elder sister of Phalia, Vasquilla, and the others, I can't pronounce these names. These are European names created with a Japanese mindset. These syllables make no sense. She has always remained neutral, siding with none of her siblings. Even the war against the forces of darkness, later known as the Ogre Battle. Remember, Ogre Battle is what started this entire timeline off, when mankind was about to be wiped out by demons and ogres, and the gods and the angels and all kinds of really powerful things came to their aid, and they fought a massive war. She maintained her neutrality, providing no aid to Philaha. Yet Philaha did not begrudge her this, knowing well that all of the gods and goddesses, none wielded greater power than Josnail. Aware of the supreme power at her command, they never sought to cast themselves from one side or the other. Rather, she set to provide whatever aid she can to those who seek her help and truly need it. Though hidden beneath helm and plate, the divine beauty of her countenance, and indeed her every feature, is without compare. How can you tell? I mean, she has no... Yeah, it's really cool to kind of see them more armored, actually. The armor design's good. Grezua, goddess of water. She's got a dragon. You know she means... And a combat skirt. And a spear. She means... She's got a spear too. Do they all have spears? They may all have spears. Don't know why. The child of Four, a goddess of air. And Vasquilla, a god of the sea. Like Ishtar, Grezza was born spear in hand and clad in armor. That must have been a very painful birth. And she commands a divine host 500,000 strong. Oh, God. She means business when she steps onto the field. A beautiful goddess renowned for her jealous nature, she is said to take the form of a dragon and unleash... Oh, that's why the dragon. And unleash terrible stores whenever her husband, Zamunza, god of the feast, is unfaithful. I guess he's got a big appetite. Like Hanila, she has been worshipped in Valeria since antiquity, and followers of the Vask religion who hold Grezza foremost among all the gods, revere her as a symbol of vengeance and power. Speaking of, so at first I thought maybe she had a leopard thing, but I think that's her helm here, and that's just like a cowl of a leopard. So Hanila, goddess of air. The child of Horp, god of knowledge, and Felina, goddess of justice. The gods of the four winds, including Zephyros and Eros, are said to spring from her footsteps. As would be expected of an island nation, the people of Valyria have always relied on the bounty of the ocean. This alone explains their reverence for the winds Hanila breathes into life, but as the patron goddess of the sea, she is doubly honored. You can be both a goddess of air and the goddess of the sea? Interesting. Ooh. Yeah, they all have spears. Vasa, goddess of earth. Heaven and earth were cleaved into two by the death of Bor, the celestial, and Anim, the terrestrial, giving birth to the world. Oh, that's disturbing. Vasa was born from the keening air as the ground and sky were rent apart. She took Anim's place as steward of the land, and in concert with Philaha, she is said to create life and bring abundance to the earth. Yet when the lord of the underworld, Damunza, absconded with her daughter Danica, in her grief, Vasa began to divide this abundance between the world above and the underworld below. This gave rise to the seasons and the rhythm of life and death that accompany them. Vasa is revered as a goddess of the harvest, yet she is also honored in funerary rites as the one who guides the dead on their journey to. Danica is actually a really cool lore dump. In Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber, which I've also played and is a lot of fun. At the entire plot of the game is people are trying to harness the power of Danica, the demigoddess, who is sleeping sealed for various reasons. I don't remember quite what happened, as well as I'm not 100% sure what they did. But yeah, you actually fight the demigoddess at the end of the game, and it can be very easy or very hard depending on how you've built your party. Nesthoro, goddess of lightning. She's got a horsey. Oh, that's she only has the front half of a horsey. The god of Aranda, god of clouds, and Falana, goddess of justice. These people get around a lot. I've seen multiple deities with multiple spouses. Also known as the goddess of judgment, Nesthorot's gears are said to symbolize divine order. Along with Zosniel, the goddess of fire, Nesthorot remained neutral during the ogre battle, and upon the end of that great war, it was her judgment that banished the ogres within the abyss for tens of millions of years. Wow, these guys did not advance in society a lot between ogre battle and the current timeline. In Valyria, the downtrodden have long been Nesthorot's devoted followers, drawn to her impartiality and fairness. Even after Dodinus King Dorgalua united the Isles in the worship of Philaha as the one true god, many still prayed to her in secret. Lynurum, goddess of ice, she's got 4 arms. She's also... yeah, they'll finally stop having spears. She's technically just got a bunch of gear surrounding her. She has a lantern, a blade, and everything's on strings. Can she swing those? Lynurum sprang from the tears shed by Morada, god of the mountains, upon the death of Enim, the terrestrial. It is said that as Lynurum was born, Morada's tears turned to ice, creating vast tundra and glaciers. Later, when Falaha became Lord of the Heavens and did battle with his elder brother, Damunza, Lynurum sided with Damunza against him. Not even Falaha and the blazing light of the sun could pierce the ramparts of bitter ice, and his forces were brought to a standstill. Seizing this opportunity, Damunza descended into the abyss, where he became king. Lynurum could only watch as she left and in the end surrendered herself to Falaha. Yet in his boundless compassion, he forgave her, gave her a seat. Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't really her fault. She thought she was protecting someone. They're like, see ya, I'm going to go rule over hell. What a dick. Ashmedi, god of darkness. Oh, we are not with the hot chicks anymore, man. Look at this guy. Ashmedi marched beneath Damunza's battle at the head of 108 legions in the Ogre battle. Though much of his power was taken from him following his defeat, even in his weakened state, no mortal could hope to challenge him. Ashmedi is no longer believed to occupy his time plotting great evils, and it is even rumored he aids the mortal realm from time to time. There are many theories surrounding as to why this may be, but the common belief is that in the ancient days of Zytinia, Ashmedi was summoned by the alchemist Gotham, with whom he lost a bet. In payment, Ashmedi was made to assist mortals who sought his help. None can say for certain whether Asmedi leads his aid to suit his own whims or as a result of Gotham's cunning, but whatever the case, he does not seem openly hostile. Okay. Just a quad-winged devil, hopefully on humanity's side. That's interesting. And then, this is the one that looks the least goddess-like, Ishtar, goddess of life. When the sun god Falaha and his siblings struck down their father Bor, ruler of the heavens, Ishtar sprang from the blood that flowed from Bor's dying body. Why do they always come from blood and tears, man? Born wielding a silver sword and wearing gleaming armor and robes of white. With his dying breath, Bor commanded his newborn daughter to slay Falaha, but Ishtar was wise. Filled with shame at the thought of such a wicked act, she joined Falaha's ranks instead. Falaha gladly welcomed his younger sister and gave her a place alongside the other gods. Ishtar's white garb symbolizes her purity, while her alabaster blade and arms embody victory. She is revered as the goddess of glory and triumph, giving the cause of those who worship her the certitude of justice. Now, that's a really big lore dump, and we're still going on with this, guys, because we have units and classes. Denim is more than a capable warrior. He becomes the leader of his own order of knights. The individuals who make up the order are known as units. For example, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. This dragon's a unit. This old man is a unit. And they have a wide variety of classes, each with different abilities. Like Patricia, who is a level 19 cleric, if I understand what they're wearing. Units grow and become stronger primarily by defeating enemies or being victorious in battle, as well as purchasing equipment from shops or learning magic. So yeah, here we see a level 28 White Knight. He has a lot of HP. He's got, I don't know if that's a lot of MP or not. He's wielding a again, everyone loves lances in this game. His clan is Zenobia, and his allegiance, Godscale may be the name of the order that you make, or at least they're using in these things. You can probably rename it whatever you want. Has a helm, body armor, gauntlets, boots, and an accessory. He's got 4 equipable items. He's got 2 or 4 spells. I think I saw that they said that you can get more than just 4 spell slots or 4 skill slots, but you had to earn currencies and experience and pay for them. Finishing moves, skills, all kinds of good stuff. The stat increases upon leveling up or differ for each class. For example, Intellect, which is INT right here, increases more easily for a wizard. Berserkers will find it easier to build strength, and a knight develops vitality more easily. They probably need to explain what each of the... Like, that's probably attack, defense, ranged attack, your speed, your dodge, your magic, your offensive magic, your healing magic. I'm guessing. And then here's physical attack power, ranged attack power, magic attack power, physical defense, magical defense. It's not terrible. It's got a pretty good key. It's not terribly hard. You can build your own unique order. Who will you make an ally? Which classes will you train? Now, it offers a deep, rewarding combat scenarios that allow you to think tactical. Required. Now, they don't allow. They do allow, but they're required to think tactically to succeed. When moving around the world map, you may enter battle by which when you reach your destination or the path along the way. Here we go. Look at 10 of these guys need to get out here right now and do some battle. Once you enter battle, you move to formation. Here you can select units to take part and determine formation, check info, and equipment. You know, we got 10 people here. We got a guest character too. Number of units that take part depends on the battle. Here we have to vanquish Pharaoh. I don't know which one Pharaoh is, but he's probably not a nice person for vanquishing him. When a battle begins, a victory condition is displayed. Battles are not turn-based. They proceed according to recovery time. So if we go back up to here, recovery time of 102, that probably, the higher your recovery time, probably the easier it is to move. Or maybe the higher the recovery time. I'm not sure yet, actually. Units taking their turn according to factors such as agility and equipment, regardless of whether they're friend or foe. Yeah, so high agility lets you move faster. Heavy equipment slows you down. Which is why lighter, faster units get to move more than slower, heavier units. When it is a unit's turn to act, this is called the attack turn state. When the victory conditions are fulfilled, you win the battle. If the victory condition specifies the defeat of a certain unit, then the battle will end when that unit is defeated, even if there are other surviving enemies. You got a little MP card and a little sack of treasure. And I think that in this game, anything that is dropped on the field, you get at the end. But if an enemy lands on it, they take it back and you lose it forever. And the results following victory, you'll be able to obtain item pouches that you didn't retrieve in the battle. You can also check information on the XP that your troops gained and any units that level up. We've seen this before on a different video. Tactics Ogre features a multi-scenario system where developments in the story and its eventual conclusion can change depending on the decisions that you make. Denim faces many difficult choices over the course of the game, and the people he meets and the world of Valyria itself will be shaken. So here he's saying, you're right, this is no time to fight. The backroom or a true enemy must work together if we were to stop them. Chapter 3. Well, that's dark. All kinds of shocking developments await you, from encounters with new characters to allies fracturing from friend to foe according to ideology. Or you can say, I'll never rejoin you, you're no different from the backroom. Chapter 3. Ambition and greed roar, while dogs and swine serve. So yeah, it changed the chapter. Now, I don't think it changes like every single facet of the story, but probably it changes a lot. That was just a very broad overview of the gameplay, but it scratches the surface. Game is physical and digital for PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam on November 11th. Anyone who pre-orders, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm really looking forward to this, guys. This is going to be really good, and I'm really hopeful for it to be a really fun game. I'm sure there's going to be people who tell me there's lots of really cool stuff to do in it, and I'm looking forward to it. And that is your first part of this, what is probably going to be a very, very, very long series of videos here. But I hope you guys enjoy Cal's opinion, and let's move on to the next story. For your next story tonight, let's look at something that no one saw coming, but we really should have, based on corporate greed. So the PS5 price is going to increase in select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation. So their official statement is as follows. The global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, SIE, which is, Sony Interactive Entertainment, you can see it here. This is the Jim Ryan, the president CEO. Has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of PS5 in select markets across Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and Canada. There are no price increases in the United States. That's pretty much everywhere else, though. Why didn't you just say everywhere but the United States? The new ones are listed below. Are effective immediately unless otherwise notified. None of them have anything that says... So they're all just immediate because there's no... While this price increase is a necessity given the current global economic environment and its impact on SIE's business, our top priority continues to be improving the PS5 supply situation so as many players as possible can experience everything that PS5 offers and what's still to come. Thank you for your continued support. And other areas not listed may also receive price increase. So first of all, this sucks. They acknowledge that the economy is not great, and then they shove the dagger into your wallet. That's not cool, Sony. But here's the thing that I'm honestly not surprised that they didn't try this in the United States. It's the biggest console market, and I don't know if... And it's also where they're most competitive with Switch and Xbox. In various portions of the world, Sony or Microsoft and Nintendo have a much lower thing, but in America, the three consoles have been fighting for supremacy for like decades. It's like everything changed when they attacked. But no, seriously. So I understand why they want to do it in the United States, because it's still decently competitive and they were probably worried about accidentally pricing themselves out. But this sucks. Let me tell you something. Sony is literally saying, we know you have less money, give us more right now. It is. I had a friend on Twitter, Mr. Westtown HD, who you should totally find on Twitch and YouTube. I believe he was the one saying or commenting on a thread where he was talking about how even in Canada where he lives, that you can't even buy a PS5 that's not in a bundle. So the bundles are going up even more too. So it's already pricing people out. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure somebody in the comments go, well, we're just not going to buy them. Yes, you are. Because let me tell you something, you still can't get a PS5 very easily. And there's still a lot of demand. The console sales are not huge this cycle yet, because that worldwide incident that YouTube will flag me for if I say, but caused lockdowns and supply chain issues that we're still untangling. Well, it really hurt consoles. And while if you live here in the United States, you know that they recently signed the CHIPS Act, which is America's going to start building a lot of chip foundries so that we can make a decent supply of our own chips to prevent, because they're worried about like what China may or may not do if they decide to try to take most of the capacity for the world is in Southeast Asia in various countries. And if something were to happen over there to cause a supply glut, it would a supply rout, it would be terrible. So now they're going to build a lot of foundries here in America. That's still going to take a couple of years. It's hard to get chips, and it's hard to get high-tech chips, things like consoles and vehicles and cars and trucks and planes and everything. Everything has been moving towards these higher chips, but if you make the lower end chips, the dumber ones, but that are still necessary for a lot of stuff, you're making a killing. And so, because of this, Sony is just passing along the financial pain to other places. But again, it's not going to affect them. People still want PS5s. And even though I think that games are becoming more and more non-console locked because people like money, and if you put it out as many places as possible on all the consoles and Steam, you're going to be having a bigger pool of people that can buy your game, especially with digital distribution. They're just not going to suffer. People still want PlayStations. Now, in another article I researched, but is not really worth bringing it up for the purpose of this, both Microsoft and Sony have said that they are going to not increase prices anytime soon. So that's good. If you can, unless it's a PlayStation exclusive that you really want to play, get yourself a Nintendo or an Xbox and enjoy it. Xbox Game Pass is really freaking cool right now, FYI. And Sony said we think it devalues ourselves. What they meant is, we like your money. Now, long term, is that kind of greed possibly going to hurt them? Maybe. I mean, we've seen console makers get too big for their britches before and suffer when they try to go to another cycle. But it's not a guarantee. Again, short term, they're still going to be selling out PS5s. They're probably still going to be selling them out. I mean, this is only effective September 15th, so maybe that was the only one. I don't understand why they had to put this here for that, but yeah, they're still going to be selling a lot of these, you guys. I feel for Australia. I know, yeah, like Canada, you can't buy these in Canada. You really only have the bundles for choice. I don't remember the dollar to peso ratio. Peso ratio. That's my new band name, the Peso Ratio. I don't remember what the exchange rate is, so I don't know if 15,000 pesos is a lot or a little, but I know it's now more expensive, and that's not great for anybody. So, this is a lot of the stuff for this week is good news. Sony just had to go ahead and drop a stink bomb into our party, guys. I'm sorry about that. But let's move on to the next segment. And for our big story this week on Cal's Opinion, as you may or may not have heard, Gamescom is happening in Europe right now. And man, I believe it's in Europe. Man, is it really showing off this year. After a certain worldwide issue that YouTube will suppress the video if I say on the... It's really stupid if they would do that. But after that has happened, video games have been kind of, they've been trickling out. You don't have as many huge games because remote work from home, game delays, all of this stuff has happened. But Gamescom is probably the first major game convention that has really stepped up and showed a ton of games that'll be coming out. 2023 looks like it might be a bunch of pent-up creativity and awesomeness. I just want to take a second to thank the wonderful people at IGN for putting together a list of everything that we have so far. because more stuff is dropping. But I was just so excited between this and also the fact that I was watching the main event in AEW and it was phenomenal. And now I got some really great news about the issue that we talked about earlier. So now I just want to go through here real quick. We have Everywhere, which is just a brand new IP. We have Dune Awakening, which is a survival MMO in Dune. Oh, God, that would be really impressive to try to do. Sony has their new DualSense Edge for PlayStation 5, which, honestly, if you're into really premium controllers, I am on a budget. I am not. But the Callisto Protocol, oh, my God. My question is I don't know what... don't know if my computer could run this or if it's going to be on PlayStation 4. If the answer to either of those is yes, then the question is, do I want to humiliate myself on YouTube for you guys? Lords of the Fallen, which is a Souls-like game, looking really cool. Moving Out 2, which is a fun little party game. Hogwarts, which is a Harry Potter, but it's been getting a lot of hype for a Harry Potter game. Another Tales for the Borderland got announced. Dying Light 2 Stay Human has an expansion. Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale. Marauders, which is an early access tactical first-person shooter. Sonic Frontiers is officially coming out for November. Fingers crossed that it's good. Under the Waves is a new game which apparently follows Stan, an oil company diver in the 70s who exploring the depths of the North Sea. It looks kind of fun. I might want to play this game, but it's not coming out till next year. Goat Simulator 3, because that's the world we live in. Monkey Island comes back in just a few weeks for International Talk Like a Pirate Day. You gotta love the sense of humor these people have. Subnautica has also developed... This is something I saw really cool. It's a digital tabletop strategy game, which is like Warhammer 40,000, but on your PC, and I'm kind of into it. We have Friends vs. Friends, which is a new card deck-based shooter. I don't even know what that is, but it's colorful and confusing. Lies of P, which is a dark, upcoming like Souls game set based on Pinocchio. Stranded Alien Dawn, which is... A lot of these are just teaser cinematics. That's why I'm not clicking on every single one to show you. But it's a planet survival sim from people who... in which players must venture to a dangerous new world to fight for survival. I wonder if that... Now, does that mean it's first person? Or is it going to be like surviving Mars while I'm building bases and stuff? Either way, I'm cool with it. But Sand is Your Weapon in Atlas Fallen. Homeworld 3 is still being produced. Genshin Impact has a new look at a new region. Those kind of games just print money. And Impact developers Honkai Star Rail has a story trailer. Job Simulator VR has a new game. High on Life trailer reveals incredibly insulting weapons. Oh yeah, that's from the guy who created Rick and Morty. The Expanse is going to be a Telltale game. Oh my god. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is apparently going to be coming as a video game, which is a 3 versus 7 title. What is that even? What? Amazing. Scars Above, which is another game that I'm really interested in. Dark sci-fi action game, which is an alien structure appears above Earth, and then people have to cope with what nightmares they see. Fallout and Skyrim Vet is making a new role-play game called Weird Song. Interesting. Age of Empires 4 is going to have the Ottomans and the Malays for all of you Age of Empire fans. Gotham Knights is coming earlier than expected. I don't know. I know a lot of people have been complaining about, the combat looks really floaty and doesn't have a lot of impact. And they seem to be using like magic and teleportation stuff that none of the characters actually have. But it's coming on October 21st, so we'll see how it is. We have an open world set in medieval China, which is a really interesting time period to explore, by the way. That's why Romance of the Three Kingdoms keeps putting out game after game. Hideo Kojima gets a podcast. Amazing. Park Beyond is this is something I've seen advertised before. You are building an amusement park, but all of the rides have like almost, it's like if you had the Disney Imagineers, but instead of turning up to 11, you turn it up to 11,000. You build just impossible rides. But it might be fun. There's an official Pokemon Mini Coupe, apparently. And is fully electric, so that's nice. 2D, 3D hack and slash Phantom Hellcat is revealed. Stars Jolene, who breaks a seal on said cursed theater, prompting the darkness to take him up. Why do people always break seals if they're not supposed to? Go to church and read what not to do. It's not that hard. Warhammer Dark Tide got a new trailer, and that's going to be pretty much just Vermintide, but with space weapons. You're going to enjoy it. Something, building strategy game, Dorfromantic. I don't know what that is, but it's coming to Steam. I'm sorry, it's on Steam. It's coming to the Switch. Black Tail's latest trailer shows the good and evil of witchcraft. A game about witchcraft and the legend of Baba Yaga. Ooh. The Outlast Trials got a creepy new trailer. It's apparently going to be co-optional survival in the Outlast franchise, which could be really interesting. Battlefield Devs' new shooter is revealed as the Finals, which is a shooter wrapped in a game show format. Ooh, if it's like Smash TV, I'm all for it. Dead Island 2 is real and only months away. It's coming out on February 3rd. 6 playable characters and a ton of ways to kill zombies. And that is all they've announced so far. I will try really hard to keep up with Gamescom because I'm really enjoying it. You'll be able to see like game ideas for everything here on the channel, guys. We will see what we can see. This may not be the final thing if there's another Gamescom dump, which there probably will be in a day or two. So we will take a dump with that. And now I'm never going to be monetized, but that's okay. Guys, that is going to be it. Possibly. Oh, God. This is the problem with not recording all this at once, but I need to make sure I have time to make these episodes for the weekly news show. I'm just so excited. Video games are starting to come back in a really big way, and it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Why is he hiding in the pizzas? But, guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that outro. I might not do the outro. We'll have to do something else. We'll have to do something else at the end of this, but it's okay. News is good, and a cow's opinion is important. I'll see you then.